Hello students, good afternoon and welcome to math class today. We are continuing our lesson from Unit 11 on geometry. The previous week we dealt with how right angle look like and how we can rotate through a right angle. In today's lesson, our focus is going to be on how we can read a grid by using the order pair. So we have two grid systems here that we're going to go through to understand how a grid is being read, okay? So the topic will be on how to locate and go for a direction as well. So basically when you have a grid, you have two sides, okay? You have the column angle and then that of the row angle. So whenever you have a grid and you are coming to read, the rule is that you first go right, okay, and then you go up, okay. So that is the rule for reading a grid. So where is the right? The right is the bottom numbers or the bottom values that you see. That means the A, B, C and the 1, 2, 3 right at the bottom of your table. That is the right direction that you have to go. The up direction is the numbers that goes up. So in short, we can say that the bottom deals with the rows and then the top or the up always deals with the columns, okay? So we have a question here that we need to read on our grid. We have C2. That means we have to put a square at C2. Once the direction or the rule says that you go right and up, it means that you look at your C on the right direction and then 2 you go on the up. So to locate or to put a position on C2, it means we have to go C2. That means it falls on 2. So this is where our square is going to be, okay? So you shade your square like this. So this portion that has been shaded is C2. That means 2 is here and C is here. Okay, this is very simple because it is easy to look at your C from the right direction. Let's look at our second example, which is B. With B, we are supposed to put our square at 3, 2. So someone will ask, do we use this 3 here or we use this 3 here? Well, the correct way of reading your grid is always going on the right direction. That means you have to use the numbers at the bottom first. So we have to start with this 3 and then we locate our 2 at this position, okay? So which means your 3 will go up and go and meet 2 over here. So we're gonna make our square at this position, okay? Okay, so these are the ways that you can read your grid depending on the instructions that you have. You always have to start going right using the down values before you go on the up values to locate your square that you are always dealing with. If you are also at a position that you become so confused, please always remember the rule that the rule is right before you go up. On this video, you're going to have your first activity, which relates position and direction at pages 62 and that of 63. You are doing questions 1, 2, 3 and that of 4 at the learner's book session. I'll see you in our second video. Hello students, welcome back to our second video. On this video, we'll be looking at our grid system and that of our right angle and how we can always make a turn or a movement in a grid as well, okay? So in the grid, there are 4 main languages that we use when we are doing a movement on the grid. The first thing that you have to know is that when your angle is pointing up like this, it means you are going forward, okay? And then when you are also going this way, it means that you are going right, And then when you are going this way, you know you are going left direction. And when your angle turns here, it means you are going down. So in solving any question that asks you, that involves moving on your grid, this is the language that we'll be using. When your starting point is pointing at the north, it means that you are at this location and you have to point north and go forward. If your question is asking you to make a right turn, then it means that you are turning at that same spot here onto the right hand side of your grid. So assuming if you are here, okay, and it says that turn right, it means you have to turn this direction. In turning right, it also means that you are turning 90 degrees, an angle of 90 degrees. So turning one right also means that you turn an angle of 90 degrees, okay? And then if you are supposed to turn 180, it means that you have to go on two directions, okay? If you are starting from here, it means you have to go 190 and then you have to come here. That will give you 180. The same way if you are going 360, it means that you have to go round a complete and then come and be at your main point. Okay, so we're going to look at our right angle again. Whenever you see this sign, it means that you are dealing with a right angle, which is always 90 degrees. Don't forget that. So either it is written or not written, the moment you see this square inside, it means that you are dealing with 90 degrees. A complete angle will always give you 360 degrees, and the proof is that when you have a circle and you divide into 4 sections, one of the section becomes 90 degrees, so the other will also going to give you 180 degrees, and then when you move again, it's going to give you 270 degrees. Okay, so that is going to give you 270, and the next one is going to give you 360 degrees. That means when you make a complete turn on a circle, it's going to be 360 for you. So always read your instructions very well and know which place to turn and your final destination that will be. We'll have our second activity that will be posted to you as you finish watching this video. We'll meet in our third video. Hello students, welcome to our third video. I believe that you have enjoyed the first and second videos. On this video, we're going to do a wrap-up of our lesson on geometry. Well, I want you to remember that our first lesson has been on angles, and we did the right angles and other angles, comparing it to the right angles. So anytime you are measuring your angles, please, you need to use a triangle, or you need to use an angle checker that will help you to always find the size of your angle. Besides that, you can always look at the size of the angles that you are dealing with to see which one occupies more space or which one occupies less space. You should also recall that an angle around a circle will always give you 360, and a quarter of it is 90. So that means if you are going halfway, it's going to give you 180. Once you know these calculations, your angle direction are always going to be easy for you. Again, whenever you are reading a grid, the first way is to go right. That means you read from the bottom before you go with the numbers that stands upright. So it is right and then you go up. That is how you can always read about your grid. I'd like to say a big thank you to you for joining this section, and I will see you again next week on a different topic. Thank you.